you go.
Thank you. All right, I would like to make a motion to adjourn from executive session.
Second?
I'll make a I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. At this time, we'll do the proclamation. Microphone. So the members of St. James, would you come on up so everybody can see you?
All of you, yeah, come on up.
We want to see your faces.
We want to get you in a picture. Come on now.
Do you have a camera?
Casey's got you.
Casey's back there with us.
Casey's back here with it.
Thank
Yep.
you, thank you.
Why does it say City of Pickwa?
Okay, hello, Rita, Ralph, wow, everybody, wow. This is great, thank you for coming on such a
City of Pickwa.
rainy night. Thank you. Okay, well, this is a proclamation for St. James Episcopal Church. Whereas Colonel John Johnston, Indian agent, transferred from Fort Wayne, Indiana, to Upper Pickwa, now known as the Johnston Farm and Indian Agency, in June 1811. Colonel Johnston and his adjoining neighbor, Richard Winans, donated tracts of land upon which a burial ground, a schoolhouse, a brick building were built. The schoolhouse became the meeting place for the Episcopalians. And whereas in 1818, the Episcopal Diocese was organized and Bishop Philander Chase appointed Colonel Johnston a lay reader, holding regular services at the church. And whereas the church was moved to a log schoolhouse in Pickwa proper, at the corner of Wayne and Ash Streets. And whereas on October 1st, 1899, the present location was established, dedicated, and consecrated, St. James Parish was born in the mind of one remarkable man, Colonel John Johnston, aided by his deeply religious wife, Rachel, and their 15 children. The Johnston Farm and Indian Agency is not only a living memorial to these pioneers, but also to St. James Parish. And whereas we parishioners care for each other in fellowship with midweek worship services, Sunday services, special events such as picnics, taco nights, and whereas we service our community through our food box, our book box, knitting circle donations of hats, mittens, scarves to our schools, prayer shawls, giving tree with Bomba socks, trivia night, and cookie jar. And whereas we maintain our facilities and grounds for our community appearance, and whereas we share the love of Christ not only in our giving, but with our time and our talents. And now, therefore, we proclaim 2023 a celebration of 200 years of ministry here at St. James, continuing to go in peace to love and serve the Lord. Come join us. In witness whereof I have hereto set my hand and caused to be affixed the seal of the city of Pickwa, Ohio, this third day of January 2023, Cynthia J. Pearson, Mayor. So congratulations. Woo-hoo! Amazing. I'd like to introduce to you some of our folks. I know Jane here is a lay reader. Jim and Delma Grissom, you probably know. Delma is head of our vestry right now. We have Rita and Ralph here, and there's David and Barney is our treasurer, Marissa is head of our vestry, and our knitters. And of course, Krista is our secretary, and David and Brandy. Yes. So we appreciate you all coming. Congratulations to us. And be sure to watch the calendar and Facebook because we have some celebrations coming up
Awesome.
in the coming year. So thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you for coming. Thank you, thank you.
What a good
I'll give
group.
that to you.
Trivia night sounded interesting. It really did. It sounded like fun.
And it's not in the bar.
Taco night sounded good too. It really did. I'm like, uh-oh.
It's all about the
I'm always good for tacos.
Oh, exactly. Here, it's all about, she's right about that. That's so funny. Thank you guys for coming.
Yeah, congratulations.
Congratulations.
You're welcome to stay. But- Okay, moving on. We have a consent agenda, approval of the minutes.
Approval of the minutes from the December 13th, 2022 regular city commission meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda approved. Moving to old business ordinance number O-19-22. Second reading tabled.
An ordinance repealing existing Chapter 33 and enacting a new Chapter 33 of the Piqua Code.
At this point, I think what we probably should do is untable the ordinance.
I'll make a motion to untable ordinance number O-19-22.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Grissom,
Aye.
Commissioner Hines,
Aye.
Commissioner Lee,
Aye.
Mayor Pearson,
Aye.
Commissioner Vetter.
Aye.
Thank you. We have now untabled the ordinance. Would you like to speak to that?
Yes. Good evening, Commissioners. Happy New Year, everybody. Much like other departments in the city over the last 18 to 24 months, HR has endeavored into a project of codified ordinance review. Chapter 33 pertains to our employment-related ordinances, and many of them hadn't been reviewed since the late 90s. So we've taken a look at the entire chapter and have a proposed summary of changes before you this evening for the second reading. I'm just going to briefly review each section. You have the document in its entirety in front of you, and I'll read through our summary. Section 3301, classifications and compensation, there will be no change. 33.02, employment conditions. We propose changes to incorporate merit-based metrics for performance increases. The remaining section of this ordinance will be an administrative procedure, which will be reflected in policy. 33.03, holidays and personal days. We recommend prorated personal leave for employees hired after January 1. Administrative procedure will be reflected in policy. 33.04, vacations. We propose adjusted continuous service requirements to allow the city to offer competitive leave benefits with modified probationary periods for new hires. Administrative procedure will be reflected in policy. 33.05, sick leave. We propose to discontinue sick leave payouts for employees who are terminated. No change for sick leave payouts for retirement, death, permanent disability, or layoff. Administrative procedure would be reflected in policy. And there would also be a conversion of 10 days for eligible employees under sick leave. 33.06, leave of absence. We propose no changes to this section. 33.07, funeral leave. We recommend that this be increased to 5 consecutive days for bereavement leave for the loss of a parent, child, or spouse, and increased to 3 days of bereavement leave for the loss of a grandparent or sibling. Administrative procedure will be reflected in policy. 33.08, insurance. We'd like to incorporate language that stipulates that the plan description may include a high deductible health plan. The city would fund 50% of the established deductible. Wellness activities would be updated to reflect current health outcome targets. Opt-out amounts would be increased to allow flexibility for competitive plan offerings. An administrative procedure would be reflected in policy. Sections 3.09 through 3.18, we propose no change to these sections of ordinance.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any comments or questions from our commissioners? No. Are there any comments or questions from our citizens? Hearing none, then I would take a motion to adopt.
We need
second
one,
reading.
that's
Sorry,
a second reading.
a second reading.
Yes. We'll
So
have one more reading.
we have one more reading, and I presume that would be the next meeting.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. All right, moving on to new business, we have resolution number R-1-23.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a collective bargaining agreement with local union 252 International Association of Firefighters, AFL-CIO-CIC firefighters.
Commission, I'd ask that we table this agenda item this evening. We did reach a tentative agreement with this collective bargaining group the week before Christmas. They have not secured a vote to ratify the tentative agreement with their membership. So until they can secure that vote and ratify, we can't ask you to approve this particular agenda item.
I'll make a motion to table this item, resolution number R-1-23.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All of those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? This resolution has been tabled. Resolution number R-2-23.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a collective bargaining agreement with the Ohio Patrolmen's Benevolent Association.
Commission, the Ohio Patrolmen's Benevolent Association, or OPBA, as we refer to them here, they were able to reach tentative agreement and ratify that TA with their membership last week. And so we'd like to ask for this resolution to replace the current collective bargaining agreement, which expired on 12/31/22. The new collective bargaining agreement would be in effect until 12/31/2025. This particular bargaining unit represents our police command staff, who are lieutenants and deputy chiefs in the bargaining unit.
Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none. Any questions or comments from our citizens? Hearing none, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution R-2-23.
I'll second. It's been moved and seconded. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution carried. Resolution number R-3-23.
A resolution approving the purchase of excess liability insurance.
Good evening, City Commission. This item in the past has been brought to you by the Finance Department, and with a lot of the changes over the last few years in finance, both of these insurance items relate to utilities. So I had offered to Jennifer that I could work on this with Kevin Cringy, the Utilities Director, and then get it in a position to bring it to Commission for approval at today's meeting. The first resolution speaks to insurance that's required beyond what we have, really both these items, through our insurance consortium with Maya Risk Management Association. And the first item, 96% of the cost relates to insurance for the city's dams. And when I'm talking about the dams, we're talking about Swift Run Lake, Echo Lake, and France pond. The dam behind the power plant is not included because it was removed from ODNR's dam inspection program a number of years ago because it represents no risk to the area. So this would be for insurance up to $5 million per occurrence. The $500,000 deductible would be in place. And this continues insurance that's being provided and has been provided by Aegis. Aegis is short for Associated Electric and Gas Insurance Services Limited. And the offered rate for this insurance, it increased from just over $101,000 to $110,000, about an 8.3% increase. This insurance also includes a small portion for when the city's electric employees respond to mutual aid events outside of our jurisdiction to cover liability there as well. Be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Is there any questions or comments from commission? Questions or comments from citizens? Okay, hearing none.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number R-3-23.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution carried. Resolution number R-4-23.
A resolution approving the purchase of liability insurance for Pickwa's combustion turbines.
As you're well aware, the city owns and operates two large combustion turbines that provide cost-saving value to our electric customers. This insurance traditionally, before 2011, was provided through our consortium. We had a claim back in 2011, and after that time, Miami Valley Risk Management Association was not able to continue to provide liability coverage for the city's combustion turbines. There were a number of items that the potential insurers wanted to address. Over the next several years, we made additional improvements to the units, and in 2017, we were able to secure insurance coverage for the city's gas turbines through Chubb Insurance. And since 2017, we've been able to maintain insurance with Chubb. And this year's renewal, in order to keep the renewal rate competitive, we've increased the deductible from $250,000 to $500,000, and we've reduced the renewal rate to $141,830, which represents a 0.5% reduction in the insurance renewal rate. The coverage for this insurance is up to $15 million per combustion turbine. You know, both of these insurance items are things where, you know, it's a low risk that something may happen, but if something does happen, you know, we're at a potential large claim. So I would recommend approval of this renewal as well.
Just for the sake of the average citizen, how often do we run the turbines? I know we do it in peaking times, but some people may not appreciate how often we use them.
I mean, typically you're gonna, if you're in, coming through the city and near the power plant or on the north end of town, on 25A, you may hear the large jet engine noise, and it's gonna be on the hottest days of the year. So, you know, we're peak shaving. By peak shaving on those hottest days, that's where we're able to provide some economic benefit to our customers. And for the year, we might run the units less than 40 hours a year, so it's not a lot of hours. It's running the units at the right time to get the economic benefit of doing so.
Just for the sake of history, my memory is we bought those units from Niagara, the Niagara Power System, many years ago.
The unit at number 8, just south of the power plant, was actually bought new in the early 70s. And the reason it was purchased was because the city at one time had one tie to the outside world, and they were doing a lot of internal generation at the coal-fired plant. And the outside tie was very unreliable, so whenever storms would roll in, they'd lose the outside tie, so they actually bought that unit for reliability enhancement. And then later on in the 80s, they purchased the unit from Canada for our sub number 5, which is the one you're referring to. So we have the one unit just south of the power plant and then one up at the interchange at 25A and I-75. And that was in the mid-'80s, I believe.
Hopefully, the average citizen can appreciate the fact that we bought those at a good price, we installed them, and we've maintained them, and this insurance kind of continues the continued good use of those products.
I mean, you don't have to look back too far. Right before Christmas, the electric grid was really strained, and a lot of what was able to really hold the grid up were units like these diesel-fired units. They had the coal plants running, they had natural gas plants running, they had nuclear power plants running. There wasn't a lot of renewables other than the hydros were running pretty well during that time frame, but they actually brought a lot of oil-fired generation, just like these units, back into service to get through that time period. So, having a generation is pretty strategic to the city's, ongoing reliability of our system and really financial
Right.
reliability as well.
Any other questions or comments? Questions or comments from the citizens? And I move that we adopt resolution number R-4-23.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Resolution number R-5-23.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a management agreement with Hampton Golf for Echo Hills Golf Course.
Do you want I would like to propose to table this resolution at this time.
I'll
So we get
second.
additional information. You gonna second it?
Yeah, I second.
Okay.
Sorry, did it at the same time you were talking.
I'm sorry.
It's been moved and seconded to table resolution number R-5-23. Would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Grissom,
Aye.
Commissioner Hines,
Aye.
Commissioner Lee,
Aye.
Mayor Pearson,
Aye.
Commissioner Vetter.
Aye.
Resolution number R-5-23 has been tabled. At this time, we're ready for public comment. This is an opportunity for citizens to address the City Commission regarding agenda items, issues, or to provide information. Comments are requested to be limited to 5 minutes, and specific questions should be addressed to the City Manager's office. The City Manager's office will respond at the following meeting during the City Manager's report. Are there any comments from our citizens? Don't be shy. Okay. So moving on to the city manager's report. Paul isn't here this evening. Amy, did you want to comment?
Yes, good evening, thank you. I have one item tonight. We wanted to make an announcement that there are several openings on boards and committees. Either they are currently vacant or will be vacant in the next couple of weeks. And so we want to encourage citizens to apply to be a member of one of our boards or committees. And they include the Civil Service Commission, which has 3 openings, the Diversity Committee, 2, Energy Board, 2, Forest Hill Cemetery, 2, Golf Advisory Board, 3, Housing Council, 2, Miami County Council, 1, Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission, 1, the Park Board, 1, Planning Commission, 1, Tree Committee, 2, and Utility Board, 2. There will be an opportunity to apply to be on one of these committees on the city's website. The application deadline will be January 31st. So this is a great opportunity for citizens to be involved in what happens with their local government. And there's, as you heard, a variety of opportunities. So we really need people to apply for these positions.
And again, my understanding is that we're talking about citizens, not commissioners.
Correct. Those are all citizen board openings.
The reason I asked the question was I've served on the Housing Committee for many years, and I have a call into Bethany to clarify whether I should continue now that I'm a commissioner, and I wanted to make sure we understood that. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does this request appear on the website?
There's an application on the website where people can apply, and then what typically happens, the staff that's responsible for that board will review the applications, make recommendations to the city commission for appointments.
Who should they contact if there are questions?
They can contact the city manager's office if there are any questions.
Thank you. All right. Commissioner comments? So, Commissioner Hines.
Thank you. Just wanted to wish a happy new year to our citizens. Hard to believe that 2023 is here. We are in January, and it's 60-something degrees outside, which is kind of crazy. But that is what it is. And a huge congratulations to St. James Episcopal Church for 200 years. If you have not visited that church, I encourage you to stop by and see it. It is a beautiful church. My family and I worshiped there for quite some time, and it's a lovely congregation, lovely church, a lovely history here in our community dating back 200 years to Colonel Johnston. So congratulations to the church, and it's wonderful to have the red doors right downtown. So thank you.
Taco Tuesday as well.
And Taco Tuesday.
Tuesdays. Exactly. Commissioner.
Okay. Absolutely want to reiterate those words. 200 years is amazing, and my family grew up in that church, and so I can definitely appreciate the wonderful things they do for the city and all the members of that community. So again, if you get a chance, please visit. They have a wonderful congregation. Additionally, wanted to thank our police, fire, as well as all the members out in the snowplows over the holidays. I know it was a tough storm to get through, and hopefully everybody was able to travel safe, and I know our teams did as much as they could, even with the extremely cold temperatures and wind, made it, tough conditions to fight, and they did a good job. But also our police and fire have had a lot to deal with over the holidays as well, too. So I just want to thank them for their service and everything that they've been doing. And then, of course, looking at the boards, that's a long list, so I appreciate you bringing those up and encourage anybody to get involved as much as they can. It's a great opportunity and very rewarding for the type of work that you might be able to help provide back to your city.
Thank you very much. Vice Mayor.
Well, I just want to say Happy New Year to everybody as well, and to congratulate St. James on 200 years of history and being in our community. We really appreciate you and all that you offer and what you do. The listing of board openings is pretty big, and we would like for people to participate. We welcome people. We are open for business here in the city, and we want participation from our citizens. So it is a gateway to leading you up to here, because ultimately you participate in one of those boards to see the workings of the city. Hopefully it'll lead you to a position up here, because we're not all going to be here all the time. So we're looking for people to take our places constantly. So please participate, come to meetings, come to commission meetings, and run for an office. It's a full participation type of town here, and we want you involved. So have a happy new year for everybody, and I hope it's starting out okay. I'm not doing well on my resolutions. I mean, to be honest,
Would you like to name them?
I was just the dessert one. So. That's kind of hard. But other than that, I'm doing pretty good. So.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you. Commissioner Vetter.
I want to say a special thank you to the Electric Utility Department. I have a friend whose son lives in Fletcher, and during the storm, their electricity went off 3 times. And I think Fletcher's probably AES or Pioneer, I'm not sure which system they're in, but I don't think we even had a flicker to the best of my knowledge. So,
We didn't have a single power outage during the whole event.
That's amazing.
yeah.
Great.
Actually, either this last New Year's holiday weekend as well, so
Love
both
it.
weekends.
Yeah, that's a nice thing. I have a couple of city commission New Year's resolutions that I'm going to offer. The first is, I want to see us take some effort on a first-time homebuyers project. We've talked about that a little bit. I think that would have a tremendous effect on my neighborhood. And I think it's a topic that we ought to be able to explore and look at and see if Piqua can participate in a first-time homebuyers project. To my knowledge, we have not fully complied with what I would call the fair housing requirements. And I would like to see us this year talk about how we comply with all the regulations for fair housing. I know that Mrs. Pearson and I participated at one point trying to hold a information session at Moat Park for that, and it had interesting attendance. I think that's probably the right term. But again, I think it is a requirement of our participation, and I think that's a good thing to do. I'm hoping that we can receive a report on the updated engineering study for the Hance Pavilion.
Yeah.
I know that's out being requested, so I'm hoping that will be something that we'll hear about pretty quickly. The other thing I want to bring to everyone's attention is I got in the mail today a sex offenders notification, and this person listed their address as the Bethany Center. I'm concerned about that because the Bethany Center is in a residential neighborhood, and I'm not exactly sure who's protecting whom at this point in time, but I am concerned, and through my employment, I'm also aware that the same person was at the YMCA. And so, concern, I'm raising the concern about the neighborhood and the,
See that sheriff's department number? Call it.
yeah, well, I will.
Let 'em know.
But the issue is, we have approved a cold shelter, and I understand the need for that, and I'm not opposing that, but I am concerned that we now have sex offender notifications showing up because of that. So that's public information. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to shift gears slightly, and I'm going to initiate a new plan. It's going to be called Veterans Advice for Good Citizenship. And so every commission meeting, I will be bringing a comment that I hope will be heard by many and maybe even adhered to by many. So chapter 1, verse 1, my advice for good citizenship is be nice.
That's nice.
It doesn't hurt to be nice, though.
It doesn't.
Not one bit.
All right, thank you. I just wanted to make sure that you all were aware that Crooked Handle is opening. I know they've had some soft openings, and they're going to have a ribbon cutting on January the 12th at 10 a.m. There are a lot of wonderful little shops opening downtown, and I challenge you to get out and go visit some of those stores. The Referee's Restaurant is open, of course, Scottish Thistle. Lemon Meringue is going to be opening soon. So there are lots of opportunities right here in our own town. I encourage you to consider serving on one of our boards. Check the website. If you have questions, you can contact one of us or call the city manager's office for more information. Happy New Year, everyone, and congratulations to St. James. Like I said, we're going to have celebrations all year long, so look forward to seeing some of our citizens visit. That's all I had. I'll take a motion to
I'll make a
adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.